Hey up, how are we? Welcome to the Tuesday I was talking about in the last video. Things have developed since we last spoke. So the show on Sunday, we actually had a follow spot break, which didn't really help anything. So added to the list of priorities today is now getting a new follow spot from Christy Lights, which is on its way and should be here in about half an hour. And then unfortunately getting it up there, which as you're about to see is a task in itself. It took 4 of us to get it up there, and it's just me and Craig in today. So yeah, we got other jobs to do as well. So Craig's just getting the barrels for the Source 4 lamps. We've got a signer in today, and because this is a shell venue, we have no positions, so unfortunately I'm going to have to reuse 2 of the front cloth units and focus them onto the signer, but they're already addressed and everything like that. So Craig's here now. Here he is. Give us a wave, Craig. So Craig's on his way up there now, and we're going to go meet him up there. And then from there, now on our priority list was the LED tape and the trundles, but it just depends on how much we're going to get done. So hopefully we can make a start to that, because that's really going to help the tour. But if not, that's okay. Priorities, right? And these 2 jobs we're doing now are of a higher priority than the LED and the trundles. So upon further inspection, we actually don't need to change the lens tubes, which is good. 1 less job. So I'm going to stand in position now where the signer's going to be, and then Craig is going to flash the unit using the flashlight on the back of the luster, and he's going to light me, and I'm going to tell him where to go with the shutter wires up and down, left and right, all that stuff. If you've never used lusters before, I have this really cool feature, thanks Craig, yeah, called the flash unit, and essentially what you can do, the flash button, is turn it on and give it a manual intensity without having to go to the desk. You just got to make sure you turn it off, because once it's on, you have no desk control. So that one's 145. So what we've got to do now is, because these are actually in the show as show units, we're changing the address of them, so therefore when they come on during the show, the desk doesn't speak to the light for its show positions, if that makes sense. So we're giving it new addresses, so therefore I can control the lights from the desk as a separate entity, as in like it's totally forgot the show, it doesn't know what it's doing. And then after today, we'll refocus these units back to where they were, and then give them the address for the show. So the signer's going to stand here, Craig's going to stand there, and essentially what you want to do with signers is just make sure their hands are in and their head's in, obviously, but it doesn't really matter about anything else. There's 2 ways you can frost a unit. You can either run the barrel on it, or you can add, say, a 132 or a 119 or something like that, and that is a gel for a frost. But we're going to run the barrel on this anyway. That's looking pretty good. So I'm going to throw one there, which is over there where Craig is there, and then there's one right there, which is basically just going to be straight front in, hitting her right in the face. So essentially we're just going to do the same again. So it's, again, I do it arms width wide either side, and then just a little bit above my head because I'm quite small, and then just down to the feet, and then yeah, we're frosted up, and they are the 2 signers lights. Then we'll go to the desk, and because these are lusters, I'm gonna have to park their colour on in open white, or at least a 201 or something like that. So yeah, after Craig's focused this, we'll jump to the desk and I'll show you what I've done desk side. So I'm just going to show you how to quickly park colour. So if I go 256, 257, which are our sinus light units, enter, you can see there's a little P on the bottom of their tombstones, and that means that they're parked, or that it's got a park parameter in one way, shape or form. So I'm going to unpark it, and you unpark it by typing park, enter, enter, and I'll unpark the units. So now if I was to bring them up, they'd come on in like a really warm colour, okay, which might be quite nice, it might be what they want. However, for now, for this show, because we don't necessarily rock the warm colours a lot on this show, I am going to select the units, like that, and then I'm going to go to direct select, which is there, and then click on colour palettes. So this is Andy Davis's colour palettes, and I'm going to flick down, and good Andy Davis, very good, I know you're watching this. I like this, when the actual colour is the actual name of the colour palette. A lot of people usually just do 1 through 100 of their colour palettes. As you can see, Roscoe 58 Deep Purple is colour palette 58. Good, we like that. So I'm just going to scroll down now, and I'm probably going to find, you know, my 201s through 206s. These are my standard front light kind of gels. Again, you can kind of see there, and I'm probably just going to flick through and just see which one I think suits the show. As you can see in this top corner here, I'm trying to work with the ISO here, so just bear with me, but as you can see in this top corner, you can see the colours changing. I quite like maybe the 203, goes really well. 202, 201's a little bit too blue, especially on that background there, so maybe I'll go 203. Okay, so we'll go 203. So now as you can see, my lights here are saying they're 80%, just because that's my but I can wheel them all the way up, that's fine. And then they're running Lee 203 as their colour palettes. So now what I do is I reselect the lights, 256, go to the screen and hit colour, and that selects the colour parameter of those lights. And then I can hit park, enter. So now, if I bring these lights up, they should always be in 203. There's a really handy way of parking colour, especially if you end up touring through venues, say like Bradford. Their front of house is all colour sources, so therefore you want to select what units, or your 201s or your 202s and whatnot, and then want to park them in that colour. So yeah, it's just a really quick and handy way to park colour. Okay, so the follow spot has just turned up, as you've just seen. Me and Craig got out of the van. So now I'm going to swap to the Action 2, because this next journey is not very nice, not very pretty. So yeah, you're going to get a first person view of what we have to do to try and get this follow spot. Which doesn't seem like a long way from here, but essentially all the way into that hole right there. So now we've got to get it up these steps somehow. Jesus Christ. So now we need to go out this door and onto the roof. Okay, so job done. That was a hard job, so good. It took 4 of us to get it up here on the end, and me and Craig's just done it by ourselves, so hats off to us. So Craig's putting the other spot on because we're going to refocus that in a bit. We need to go downstairs and get a drink, just have a breather, come back up here, redo the site, refocus the other spot, and then follow spot, problems, done. Okay, so we've had a break, had a drink, so now we're going to attach the sights. So this is a site I literally bought off Amazon, and it's like a hunting site. But follow spot sides are quite expensive. We tried to make them, we couldn't get anywhere. And because the throw here is so far, as you can see, that they just needed a little bit of summit in their life. So I've got them these sights. So essentially what they're going to do is attach them to there like that, and then they can look down it and see. I don't know if I can actually get that. I don't know if you can see that. But essentially they can see what they're picking up. Craig's over here, and what Craig is doing is basically focusing the spot, so making sure it's getting the most light output. Have you done it? Bloody hell.
It's too good.
It's too good, everyone. Christ. So Craig can help me now with this. Good. So this is like the hardest job to do. So essentially you've got the Allen key, you've got two little holes, and one's up and one's down. Well, that's what we think, but we don't actually know if one's up and one's down. These are like hunting sites. They're not your standard follow spot sites, you know. So it's like trying to do it is actually quite difficult, but we're giving it a go.
How'd you turn the screen round? Just thought I'd say hello. You know, this is very. I don't like this. I'm never going to be a vlogger. Chris has done me dirty on this, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not as bad as I look, really, to be honest.
Okay, so as you saw, that was no easy task to try and get the follow spot up here. It's done, it's up, and we've just switched it on, and it's got more errors than the follow spot we've replaced. I'll have to ring Christy and see what they say. Hopefully we can fix it. It's a daily struggle sometimes, to be honest. So yeah, Craig's in there now looking at the manual. I'm about to go and join him. So we're at 10 to 1. People are going to come here at 4. We might get time to start some LED stuff depending on how long it takes to fix this follow spot now. Yeah, I'll keep you updated. Okay, so me and Craig think we fixed the issue looking at the thing. So over here we're saying D sub not connected or something like that, and it said to check the lens barrel. So it was, in fact, that little thing right there was totally loose. So we just clipped that back in, and now it seems to be working. So it's just doing a lamp warm up, and then we can fire it on. We can put the follow spot sight back on here, spend 9 hours lining it back up again, and then we should be good to go and crack on with the rest of our day. The dead follow spot is currently just chilling over there because we've got no use for it, and they want it back on the out, so it's going to have to stay here. So yeah, we think we fixed it. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, the best time.
That is absolutely horrendous. What a morning, eh? Hey Craig?
Huh?
What a morning.
What a morning.
That's the third time we've done that.
What do you want me to say?
Okay, so 12 years later, we finally managed to do it. So yeah, I think we're going to have a little bit of a break again because we are goosed after that. But 2 out of 3 jobs are done today, and the third one's a pretty big hitter. So next up, if we get to it, or at least start it, is the LED tape for the trundles. And then, yeah, and then we've got a show tonight, so Craig's going to be on the desk. We've got the signer in. Yeah. What a morning already. Okay, so what do we mean by LED in the trundles? So our ASMs have wooden trundles, wooden boxes that essentially they use to obviously put their props in and label it all up, and it is standard kind of practice to put LED tape in there for them, so therefore they can have it on like a deep blue, which is usually the colour of things backstage if things have to be on, but we need to fit it in. And we do this by, some people do it differently, this is the way I do it, it's the way I've been taught to do it, is essentially just buy LED tape off Amazon, 25 quid, 30 quid, 40 quid, however much you want to spend. Now we're a true one show because we are Christy Lights, so I'm adding a box on the bottom of the trundles which is a true one connector in, and then it'll split out to power a 4-way to 4 USBs as well, because there's USB charging on the show for the ASMs. So basically 1 cable in powers the whole trundle, charging, cables, lights, everything. That's the plan. This might spread out into a few weeks. I might have to come in early a few nights. Now we've had to do the follow spot thing just to get it done for Dublin. But yeah, we're going to see how much we get done. So I'm just going to go and grab the stuff now, and I'll take you inside. Can you not change that while filming? Oh my god, you can. Nice. Craig's a bit defeated. So this is our wooden trundles. I won't show you the contents of it because obviously it's props for the show. But these are our boxes. So if you go behind it, essentially this is going to go into there like that. And then we're going to plug it in and it'll power the whole thing. And then LED tape is going to run all the way up into this inside lip. So really there'll be 3 strips of LED and that should be enough. So we'll do 1 strip and then ribbon cable down the side of it there, and then the next strip, and then ribbon cable, next strip, ribbon cable. And that's essentially what we're going to do. Okay, so essentially what you've got to do is you've got 4 strands, you've got your power and then you've got your RGB. That's standard tape. And then I'm going to ribbon cable this cable to the next bit of tape and then so on and so forth. Essentially how I'm going to do it. But it's just really fiddly and takes some time. Okay, so in theory, if I plug this in now, these 2 strips should be connected. So let's give that a go. There we go, as you can see, both of the LEDs are on. So the ribbon cable works. There's a little bit of bleed on the red, however I'm not necessarily too picky about that because it's literally just going in the trundles. So for example, if I put it to red, it does this purple. Green's fine, and like blue's fine, so there's a bleed between blue and red, which I don't mind. I could fix it at a late date, but this is the colour they're going to want anyway, so like a purpley blue type thing. So yeah, success. Okay, so bear with me again because I am at home and editing this video, and I realised maybe I haven't got the video inside of my life down to a T. You get the gist, you know what I'm trying to do. I'm finding it difficult to show you and get it in my head as well with all the fixes and troubleshooting. However, you get the concept. So we did the LED tape and I end it on success. And in fact, as you can see in the next clip when I end this video, we basically go back to square one, but I'll let that video clip explain all that. So we did about, I don't know, an hour more on that LED tape trying to solder it and get it in position and all that kind of stuff, and then we had to do a rig check, and we did the rig check and we found a few issues, and this clip next is basically what that issue is and how I fix it. Okay, so one of the set electrics on this job is this candelabra, and it basically runs this electrical multiverse node into the driver powered by this battery, and it got sent off to be, well, to have a bigger box on, and it's come back and this is snapped off. So we're going to re-terminate this end and then resolder it back on and then throw these back into the crimps because this has also come out. Done. So now we just need to reconnect the ends into the terminals. And now we can connect it up and see if it works. She's got power and she's getting data, so now we'll go to the desk and see if it turns on. Okay, so with that fixed, then I've come to the desk and I put the candelabra on stage. So now I just find which one it is on my magic sheet. So it is the stage left candelabra, which should be there. And then I can, at full, and it comes on stage. Fixed. Okay, so we got about halfway through to what we were doing, and stage came in and started marking things up. So we had to stop really because we didn't really want to get in their way, because they're marking out the floor tour version, so the tour version of the floor. And then we think we're going to go back to square one with a lot of this stuff. It was a good idea on paper, however we just don't think we can execute it as well as we want to, which is fine. This happens, you know, this is all about the experience of touring and moving and stuff like that, and venues we're going to and whatnot. So yes, we are probably going to go back to square one. However, we're not going to get rid of the tape, we're going to use it elsewhere and maybe even use it on the trundle still. So yeah, this has been quite a tough day. It's been heavy. It's been a heavy day for just me and Craig, but we got it done, and you know, this is what it's all about, right? Coming in early, getting as much as you can done, and just cracking on with it really. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to film now, but I hope you enjoyed this video, if I am ending it here. And yeah, like, welcome to Sister Act again. You know, we've got a week left, then we move, and then 3 weeks off, and then Dublin. So if I don't see you after this video, I'll see you in Dublin. I'll do the whole journey of Dublin. Okay, so the way I ended that video was fairly downbeat, and that's not really the style we go for in these videos. Sometimes these days are relentless and endless, and they may only seem really, really small issues we come across, but when these are daily, which happens in our job a lot, it can get to you a tiny bit. You know, this isn't our venue. We are entering someone else's building, and therefore the adaptation that you have to kind of do can be fairly stressful and fairly straining. And that's what's interesting about touring, and you'll see once we get on the road the different ways we have to do things, but they all end up with the same result. Hence why I'm doing this, because I didn't want to end it on that note. So thank you very much for watching. Me and Craig did have a really good day. We got a lot done, and it's a credit to us and the passion we have for this, because we did a bloody lot that day. And let me tell you now for a fact, the show that evening didn't stop giving, alright? And yeah, it was a difficult show. It was just one of those days where everything just felt against us, but these happen, and tomorrow, or you know, the day after that, was a brand new day, and that's the way you've got to look at it. So as always, thank you very much for watching, liking, sharing, watching my TikToks, all that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it. I hope you did enjoy. I will possibly see you in the weeks off. I'm thinking about doing my paperwork videos then, but if not, I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you shortly.